Today we're going to look at some basic monsters for Guild Wars. JR requested that I do a little bit of a video on this. I'm not going to go too in depth because there's only a few monsters for a start that you really need in Guild War to be successful. And we're going to jump to the main guy that everybody uses, everybody knows how to rune. But you know what? Some runes are better than others. Now, I'm not saying I'm an end-game player in any way, because I'm not. So I'm a mid-level player, and I'm going to stick to that, no matter what you guys say. Now, I've got this guy runed Violent Will. And my thing is that while his one skill goes off speed, it doesn't really matter, because with its multiplier, it works both off speed and attack. So mine's not really that fast. It's 157, which isn't a lot, but the will carries it. And if you know which team to use it in, you're going to have no problems. I mean, Theomar is brilliant. We know what he does on Violent. And I mean, none of these are stunning runes. I've actually kept this rune on him, though I've got a few better ones for that HP. But he's not stunningly runed. No god level runes. It's just solid. But let me tell you, he does the job. Now, of course, you want to have him max skill, awakened. And in a team with Theomars, you just make sure you have Chasen with you. And I run Theo as a lead with Chasen and Orion, to give yourself that little bit of a speed boost to go let your Theo go first. And after that, I use Chasen's second skill to make sure he's got the attack boost as well. I mean, one mob down in Guild Wars and it's the beginning of the end for you. Another mob that's extremely useful, as everybody would know, is Galleon, as long as you've got an area of effect nuke. Now, there's enough on the game for this. Let me give you a few examples as soon as I get to them. We've got Ludo here, extremely underrated. Everybody completely based. He's good, whichever way you look at it. With a passive that's going to either increase your attack or decrease the opponent's damage that is done to you. Come on, that's not RNG, that's op. If you've got him, let me suggest you build him. Another one to pair Galleon with is Amir. It's easy enough to get, is the Ifrit. I use Amir on Despair, though. Violent or Rage is also very good. Just make sure you get that crit rate above 70%, and you're good. You're going to run Galleon and your AoE nuke along with Bernard. Bernard increases your speed and your attack as your attack bar. So with Galleon's speed lead in Guild War, it's a win-win situation. Of course, your Katarina and Chloe defenses, while they're counterable if you've got a cleanser, if you don't have one, it's very difficult. I don't have a brilliantly runed Katarina, but she does the job when I want her to. So, thank you. It's a viable mob, and you get it through fusion. Come on. You've probably paired the Chloe if you have got Chloe. If you don't have Chloe, look for anything that gives you your invincibility, and it's going to make Katarina a beast. I mean, if she's got a chance to ignore defense and her multipliers are very high, even if she comes up against a fire team, she's usable. I'm not going to focus on Nat 5 monsters for this because, simply put, not everybody has it. It's the same with Homunculus. Not everybody has taken the time to get it. Now let's look at monsters that everybody could have got. Let's look at Copper. I mean, your Fire Frankenstein, Copper, it's brilliant. You can use them in a combo with Emma, who it does the job perfectly. That's more or less my team, because I was bright enough not to do the dungeon with Wind Horus. But if you've got Wind Horus, even better. Wind Horus, Copper, Fire Frankenstein, and you set. One of your attack spots is filled. Yes, I do have Murmur. I was lucky enough, but I'm not going to go into him on this one. For the simple reason is that not everyone has Murmur and Gregor. Megan, another very nice speed, not only speed, but she's a support in general, she really is. And she can be used with your Lucian combos. Now, please just note that with Lucian, Megan on her own wouldn't be enough. I would suggest that you go and you use your Bernard as your lead on this. If you don't want to use Bernard on your lead, there is another monster that you can, just to increase that speed a little bit and give you a little bit more damage potential. And that's a Rocky. Now, a Rocky speed leader is quite interesting. I mean, 30% attack speed for Wind. Now, it's not going to affect Megan so much, but if you've got a decently speeded Megan, mine isn't endgame in any way. She can actually do with a lot of work, but then again, I don't use her that much. But she is a monster that you get her around 260, 270 speed, and you're not going to need Bernard's speed increase as long as you know what team to use her in. Again, she is a mod that really affects Lucian very well. Let's see who else I have. Okay, I'm not going to go into my storage, but guys, your combos, excuse me, in Guild War offense are simple. You're either looking to do a speed nuke, which would involve your Galleon or your Lucian or another AoE monster that you decide is strong enough to take out one or two at 3 best. I mean, hell, if you can wipe out their whole team, brilliant. But at least if you're with your AoE attack, you can take out 1 or 2 of their players. You've won that match. Unless you're against Camilla, Rakan, even against Chasen. Remember, your AoE nuke team is not specifically designed to get rid of tanks until you are on God tier runes. Then you're not going to be watching my video anyway. But there is another way you can go as well, which is what I showed you earlier, is with your tankier monsters. I mean, Kuman, he's brilliant. He really is so good. He messes Lucian up completely. He's a speed lead in Guild War. He doesn't require many stats to be good. He really is. You pair Kuman with somebody like Theo, Chasen. Let's see, you could even pair him with Water Kung Fu Girl and Emma, and you're sorted. There's a monster that in Guild War is underrated, is Rena, but this, now please note, is not for offense. This would be on your defense. Why I'm bringing this into this little chat here is because even though we're talking primarily about offense, when I have a thought, I tend to forget it quickly. This is a monster that I underutilize. I should use her more, but I don't. You put her up on your team, Nemesis, Will, you can put a triple Nemesis, you can go Vampire Nemesis, you can even build this monster crit damage if you want. And she is just that good. When you've got a 3-man team, it's very hard to fit a specific Rena counter into it. So next time you're building a Guild War defense, consider placing Rena with maybe a Chasen, possibly a Reviver in there. I mean, Brian, Chasen, Rena. I know it sounds so weak and they're just going to get you down eventually, but they don't. Because there's no attack, people tend to try and nuke this defense. And what happens then is you end up whittling their attack down. Let's see who else we can talk about. Okay, this one is also interesting, both light and water, and I mentioned light because we had a Hall of Heroes recently. This is another extremely weak nuke. She's on the level of Lucian in being a glass cannon, and look, my take on succubus are the only things nice on them are their cannons. I mean, look at that. But if you don't have something or you're running out of monsters, pair this thing with Beladion. It's brilliant. It will help you out. So, guys, I mean, there's a couple of your monsters. I mean, I mentioned Chasen. I don't think I have to go into depth on Chasen. She's been looked at over and over by how many other YouTubers. And she is that good. Utilize her. I'm showing you one or two of the other runes that I've got here on my monsters to give you an idea, more or less, what you're looking for in a mid-game player. Now, mid-game, I say that I get G1. I finished TOA hard, but I cannot really hit the higher levels such as G2, G3. Again, if you get Fire Frankenstein or Water Frankenstein for that matter, it doesn't matter what runes you throw on him. Throw Broken Set on him. Just put Will there. Don't bother about his speed. Pair him with Copper and you're sorted. So guys, enjoy your Guild Wars, have fun, and remember, the only way you're going to get successful in it is to experiment. If you don't experiment with different monster combos, you're learning. It's a game. Have fun.